Good afternoon. Happy Passover. Welcome to the video check-in for today, Thursday, April 1st. We are, of course, still in our 7-day festival of Passover. It ends if you celebrate 7 days, which the Reform movement does, this Shabbat, and if you celebrate an 8th day, 1 day later on Sunday. One of the traditions that is a really beautiful tradition of Passover is something called Tal, or Tefillat Tal. And Tal means dew. Now, we have prayers in Judaism. We don't normally think of this as a typical type of prayer in Jewish tradition, but during the winter, we say prayers for rain, and during the summer, the other half of the year, we say prayers for dew. Now, when we think of a prayer for rain, we might think of some maybe Native American traditions, rain dances, or, in other maybe pagan religions, things like that might have these prayers for rain, or maybe there's a prayer to a god of rain. And that really is not the Jewish understanding, and not what these prayers for rain, which is Geshem, and Tal, which begins on Passover, is all about. In our Jewish tradition, it's much more of a recognition of the seasons, of the natural world, and gratitude for God in the bounty of the natural world. So even though the summer can be very dry, and especially in the land of Israel, we don't say prayers for rain in the summer hoping that there will be rain. Rather, we recognize what there is. So again, for those wet parts of the year, the wet seasons beginning at the end of Sukkot on Shmini Atzeret, we say prayers for rain, for Geshem, and there's a full Tefillat Geshem, the prayer service for rain that we say on that holiday. And then we get to Passover. And traditionally, on the morning of Passover, the first morning of Passover, we say these prayers for dew. We change it to dew, and that little bit of dew, of condensation that appears on the earth overnight, can make the difference, I think, in especially a climate like in the land of Israel, parts of the land of Israel, between dying crops and a successful crop. So the text for Tefillat Tal, these prayers for dew, were written by one of the earliest paitanim of the liturgical poets all the way back in the 6th century, someone named Kalir, and he writes this beautiful, beautiful poetry. And there have been lots of famous musical settings for Tal, and I'm not going to do the whole thing because, it's actually quite extensive, but there's several stanzas, 6 stanzas of dew, and each one is set a little bit differently, has a little different meaning, and musically is set a little differently as well. Now, one of the most famous settings is Yosela Rosenblatt, but one of the ones that I love best is the Chazan Israel Alter. He writes just really this beautiful Eastern European Chazanut tradition. And in this particular verse that I'm going to chant for you, it has a lovely combination of, yes, that feeling of chazanus, of kind of cantorial tradition, with also what sounds almost like a musical version of Tal, of dew, this really beautiful, pastoral, calming sense to it. So I'll read you the text that I'm going to sing. So they start with dew, precious dew, and this one is dew, precious dew, our granaries to fill, and all our youthful excesses pardon. Beloved God, uplift us at your will, and make us a richly watered garden with dew. So you'll notice there's that word dew, the English word dew, and every time you hear the word tal in Hebrew, that is dew. And of course it ended with dew, so it'll end again with betal. Enjoy. Tal, tal, vasova, Malay, Malay, Malay asamenu. Achoit techadesh yamenu, techadesh מחדש ימינו בית שמנו גן רבי שימנו בטל. חג שמח.